How are we? Flipping heck. Where's he been? Sorry for taking ages, guys. I know we were meant to be live yesterday. I was busy. Bear with me. Oh, so I know I missed Sunday, and I know it's 11 o'clock on a Monday, but I'll tell you the reasons why now. So for ages, I've wanted to get a video out on how to float walls, and yesterday I decided, you know what, stuff it. I'll just fire a load of walls on in my bathroom. So that's what I was doing yesterday. That's why you didn't see me. I was plastering away in my house, which was an absolute nightmare because I thought, do you know what? Let's get it done now. Let's just get the plastering done. Anyway, long story short, I thought we had boards knocking around, but we had no plasterboard, so I couldn't do around the window and I couldn't get the ceiling boarded. And I thought, do you know what? I'm all geared up to do it. So we just floated the walls instead. So that's why you didn't see me yesterday, because after I finished floating the walls in the bathroom, I had the whole house to clean up. And then after that, it was like bedtime. And today I thought, you know what? I just want to edit this video as fast as I can and get it out there. So that's what I've been doing. I've literally just sat at my computer now for about 12 hours editing, and I've had enough. So I thought I'll just come on, let you all know what's going on, and then I'm going to bed. I've had enough. How are we all doing anyway? Who have we got in now? John Andrews, how you doing, John? Eric's on, Ask the Plasterer. Evening, Eric. How you doing, mate? Eric, you mentioned, I seen one of your comments somewhere that you wasn't able to click on one of my videos, so I don't know what was going on there, mate. That was, have you been able to click on it since, or is it still not letting you? I haven't put any restrictions on you, Eric. Yeah, as you well know, there's nothing I can do my end. What have we got here now? Craig Meadow. Hey up, Craig. How the devil are you? And do you know what? I should I should be streaming this through the is it OBS, but I've literally just thought I'd just jump online now because I've been editing all day. Robardo Kennedy, hey up, mate. Roger Taylor, evening, Kurt. Calvin Jones, hi, Kurt. Cornwall this week. In Cornwall this week. Oh, fair play. Lovely part of the country, mate. Teddy, evening, Kirk. Kieran Bailey, all right, Kirk. How's it going? Manny Emilius, evening. I think it's Emilius or Emilius. Evening, mate. Sent you a WhatsApp. Any news on job to date, please? Bear with me. I've got about a zillion WhatsApps and texts and messages, and I've had me blinkers on for the last 2 days. I've just been, if you've just jumped on the live now, if you're only just catching this bit, I was just explaining where I've been. Yesterday, I got stuck into my bathroom and floated all the walls and filmed it all for the video on how to use back coat plaster. And today, I've just spent 12 hours editing it. I've just put everything on silent, turned everything off, and just cracked on as much as I possibly could. And I thought, like, before I go to bed, I'll just drop on and let you guys know where I've been and what I've been doing. Oh, what a flipping day! I couldn't be an office geek, just sat down at this chair all day. It's not good for me. Yeah, I start getting like, like I don't know, irritable. Start like grabbing things or eating the end of flipping bar. I've gone for about 7 biro pens. I don't even need a pen because I'm on the keyboard, but I'm just sat here just chewing the ends off pens. Calvin, I could click on it, mate. Should have more views. I'm with you now, Eric. Barry Blake, evening, Kirky. How's it going, Baz? It's Craig laughing at me. Stephen Wright, all right, Kurt, lad. How's it going, Steve? No worries. I'm the guy with the TV in the bathroom. I know, my mate. I know. WJ Mains. WJ Mains one. Doing a float in the bathroom doesn't sound right. Trust me, mate, the stuff I eat effing sinks. Nothing floats. uh, GP 1207. Hello, Kirk. How's it going, mate? Oh, so yeah, that's what's been going on. I took my day off. Do you know what as well? So inside of me was wishing that I never did it now. Because my missus has sort of been pecking to get the bathroom done. So I thought, right, the only thing that's been holding me up is getting it plastered. And I'll be honest with you, right, I love plastering. I love it more when I'm getting paid for it. Like doing stuff in my own house, it's sort of I have to really like, here we go, and get it done. So that's why it's dragged on so long. So I thought, right, I'll just get it floated now. I'll get it done. We had no plasterboard, so I couldn't board the ceiling. But I've OSB'd the ceiling because I've got a few things going on there of lighting and islands, and well, you'll see all that at some point in the video. But I just thought I'll do what I can now, and we floated the walls. And by the time I finished cleaning it up, it was like midnight. So only because I've got a little 2 foot terrorist that comes in, gets covered in plastic, and then runs off around the house. See, when you work in your own house, it's not like a normal customer. They don't. The missus isn't controlling the kids like I'm a stranger in the house. She's just letting the little fella do whatever he wants. So, it's just chaos. I don't know why. Whenever I work in my own house, the job just takes 5 times longer. I don't know if it's because I have more like cups of coffee or I don't know why. It just seems to take longer. Plaster Doncaster, AO Plastering, and Rendering, AO Kirk. How's it going, mate? BR Aki, how's it going, Big Kirk? What happened the other week on your live when you went off after about 7 minutes? I can't remember. I don't know. I don't even. Did it come back on? I don't know what happened. I ran out of electric. I was shouting out the window, put a pound in the meter. School of Plastering, how's it going? Evening, mate. Josh S. Just started out, Kurt. What's the best way to get in work? I keep saying I'm going to do this. I am going to make a video on this. Bear with me, Josh. Bear with me. We literally, I answer one of these exact same questions every single live. I'm going to make a video on what I believe is the best way to get into work. But just so I'm not leaving you hanging, mate, go to the building sites, get your CSCS card first. If you're unemployed at the moment, you can go and get the CSCS card for free at the job centre. Get that, get boots, get a hard hat, get a vest, and turn up at a building site and ask the lads to work for them. Offer to work for free. Get yourself in there. They'll pay you. No fella's going to rip you off, and get yourself in that way. That's I believe the easiest way on into plastering. Shoemakers never have shoes, Kirk. We all hate doing our own home. My wife has never lived in a finished house. Yeah, Paul Taylor. How's doing, Paul? I know. I tell you what it is, because whenever I want to do something in my own house, I always want to do okay, come up with like extravagant because when you're doing it for yourself, it's not like the money's a problem because it's no one's paying you. So money isn't an issue because no one's paying me anyway. So then you think, right, what can we do to make it like absolutely amazing? And then you come up with all these plans, and then because it's so much work, you just flip it, I'll do it next weekend. That's what happens to me. That's what I have all these big grand ideas, and then that's it, set in stone in my mind. And then I've sort of made it bigger than what it needs to be, and then I can't be arsed doing it. So, mm. Anyway, like I said, I've just sat here now for about 12 hours straight editing a video, and we're nearly there. We're nearly there. I've got a few bit. I've done the first half of the video. I've got a little integration in it for Carly. I haven't got their thing in here. Carly's like oh yeah, there you go. For these, the little integration for these guys going in, like a little advert for them. You plug that in your car, and you connect the app, and it tells you what when you go to the mechanics and you plug your car in on the machine, it tells you all the faults and everything. That's exactly the same thing, but because it's connected to their app, it's like what's the wording? Just telling you how it all works, aren't I? This is the flipping deal I have to do with them. So they've got like pages of stuff that spiel for me to sort of pick from what I want to say. But basically, when you've got your little when you take your car to the garage, if they've got one of these little cheap machines, it'll only read, say, I don't know, 1,000, 1,500 codes, and it'll won't be very specific. Whereas Carly, these guys have got it rigged up where they're in deep with everything. So all the actual manufacturers, so they hold like 50,000 codes or something. So you can get this specific code, and it'll tell you exactly what's wrong with your car. Or there you go. I don't know. I haven't practiced it all yet. So when you see the video, you'll see me practice me polished version of that, won't you? Mark Kitchen, evening, Kirk. How's it going, Mark? Josh S. Cheers, Kirk. Hugh, Hugh. I'm not reading Hugh's surname. In fact, if anyone wants to laugh, go and look in the comments at Hugh's second name. My throat's swollen up on each side of my neck. Oh, you feel a bit rough, are you, mate? Flipping heck. The Wandering Mason, hey up, Kurt. Didn't know you were round me. I'm from Great Barrow, Tarvin. Oh, you're only up the road, mate. You're only up the road from me. Tarvin. Trying to think. The last bit we did in Tarvin. My missus and kids are those out your way, mate, with the horses. I can't think of the name of the flipping farm they go though. I should know, shouldn't I? I should pay more interest and all that sort of stuff, but is it? Oh, do you know? I was thinking then Tarvin. It's not Tarvin. A little bit further on from you, isn't it? Tarpley Gates. It's my old fella's mate. Miller's Channel. Hey up, Kirk. How's it going? You all right, mate? Oh, so yeah, nothing really exciting to report. I just wanted to let you know where I've been, because ultimately, I do try and go live on a Sunday, but too much to do and too little time. It's a story of my life. I don't know if I'm the only one, but by the time I get to the end of every day, I've got my checklist and there's still about 10 things not checked off every single day. I just feel like I'm flipping. You wake up in the morning, you're like, right, let's go at it again. So, what have you guys been up to anyway? So, my cousin runs the Rising Sun in Tarpley. Where do I know that from? Just remind me what the Rising Sun is. I think I know what it is, but I'm not 100%. I've heard of it. You have to enlighten me a little bit, mate. Barry Blake, how can you still love plastering, Kirk? I've been plastering since I was 15. I'm 55 now and I hate it. My knees, back, arm, neck, and all. I could do something else and get the same money. If I could do well, listen, Barry, I'll be honest with you, right? I'm the same, right? But look, even though you say you hate it, you're watching a plastering channel. That's like, but once it's in you, mate, that's it. There's no getting away from it. The dust gets in you, and that's it, mate. You just love it, don't you? Addicted to plastering. School of plastering, literally not enough hours a day, working away, mate, ripping out. Oh, flipping heck. I'll be honest with you, I don't do a lot of ripping out myself now. I usually, if I can, just employ lads to go and do it. Just because I always say, like, I'll be the it's going to be expensive for me to sort of be there ripping out. So I just think if I can send some lads to do it, they'll probably do it quicker. Probably not as neat, but and I'll be able to make a couple of quid by me being on another job somewhere and them just doing it. But Suppose you got to get dirty every now and then. I say that, I sound like I'm dead lazy. I get other lads to do it. Trust me, I've been covered in black soot more times than I care to remember. When you come out the house and you're literally a completely different colour. I look like I've been covered in shoe polish. That was my job. Anything my dad didn't fancy doing, that's what I had to do. So I've done my fair share of kicking ceilings out and flipping. Oh yeah, I don't miss that. Um, the Wonder Mason pub grub. Oh, okay. Okay, the rising sun. To tell you what, let me know. Let me know your name, the Wandering Mason, because I'll take me missus. Is it good? Right, first of all, tell me if it's good, and then if it's good, tell me your name. I'm not going to try and get any discount, by the way, but I will go there for something to eat, and I'll say that I'll mention that I was speaking to you online. Won't tell them that what we're doing. I'll just say, oh, I'm chatting to your cousin online, and he recommended this place. What I mean is, I'll put your name forward and say like, you recommended it. Uh, By the way, I'm just writing this down. If any of you guys haven't noticed, like I love food, so if someone recommends a food place, I'm all on it. Like I'm all up for trying it out. I tell you where's not a million miles away from you as well, mate. The Wandering Mason. If you ever fancy venturing out a little bit, go towards Chester, the Shrewsbury Arms. That's a lovely place for food. And if you've seen the video with me with Roger Bisbee from Skill Builder, when Roger and Dylan come up, they travelled up from down south and they got here the night before we filmed the video, and they were looking for somewhere to stay. So I recommended them a hotel in Ellesmere Port. But when they landed, I went and met them, and I took them to the Shrewsbury Arms, and they were made up with it. They were made up with the prices because they're used to southern prices as well. So, Gary P. When I hear the rising sun, all I think of is a bar in town. All I think is one town called Stourport on Severn, where some of my family live. When I think, do you know what you're saying that, Gary? When I think of the rising sun, all I think of is the house in New Orleans. It was sang that there is a house in New Orleans. Is it New Orleans? You know what I'm on about, don't you? Stevie CBF. 27 years on the troll and couldn't think of anything I'd rather still do. Fair dues. I mean, I must admit, plastering for me, it goes through stages where I enjoy it for a year or so, and then I'm bored of it and I'm tired of it, and then I find working too much. If I don't work too much, if I sort of work like 4 days a week, which never really gets to happen. But if I work like 4 days a week, I really enjoy it. I look forward to it. At the minute, it's usually like 6 days a week. And then in my day, like I've sort of took the day off editing a video, so that's like my day off, even though I've sat here all day. Literally where I'm sat now is where I've been since this morning. But this is like a day off for me. Right? Because yesterday, which would have been my real day off, I was plastering my bathroom. So a house in New Orleans. Oh, that's it. That's it. Eric knows the score. Uh, GP1207. What's your favorite YouTube channels? Right, so I tell you, I used to watch a channel I used to love, by the way, right? It's called AVE. Right, now this fella, I've always liked watching his stuff. This fella's like I think he's Canadian engineer. His stuff's changed. So if you go to watch his channel now, it's different. He does loads of stuff on a CNC machine. I don't like it. What he used to do back in the day when I used to watch him all the time was he'd get tools and he'd take them apart and he'd test the components and he'd know. He's just an interesting guy. He's just a very knowledgeable, interesting guy. So AVE is his channel. Really good channel. If you look at it, it's like a little. It looks like a little microchip, like a little computer chip with a blue flame on it. All right, that's what his picture is. Absolutely great channel. But as I said, his content has changed. That's who I used to really like watching on YouTube. Now, since then, since I've been on YouTube, right, there's what has happened. I've started to watch other YouTube channels, right? Not because I want to watch their stuff, but because I want to watch how they edit their videos. I'm like monkey see, monkey do. I'm learning, I'm watching other people's channels to learn what they're doing. So that's got me sort of like following all sorts of crazy channels. And then because I'm watching it, and then I lose track of watching the editing style, and then I start watching the video. So channels that I actually enjoy watching, um, I like Heavy D Sparks. This is all like these are like American guys, and they do like heavy rescue. He's got trucks and wagons. I like heavy machinery. That's what sort of stuff I like watching. Um, Big sort of, mining operations and all that sort of stuff. Um, I mean, I don't really watch plastering videos, to be honest with you. Sort of, by the time I've made my own videos and been plastering all day, the last thing I sort of want to do is watch more plastering videos. So, but that said, I do keep a close eye on all the other plastering channels just to know what they're up to. especially especially who's that flipping loose cannon, Damp Sam. Flipping every now and then I just go and check his channel out and just see what he's been saying, because that fella, he loves jumping on the back of other YouTubers and taking their videos apart and just ripping them. So I always keep my eye out for him just in case he ever steps out of line and flipping starts making a video about me. um but yeah, that I watch all sorts of stuff. I like podcasts as well. Um, there's a is it something Tufts? I think it's Liam Tufts that I'm subscribed to. He interviews a few interesting people. Um, right, Eric C. Kurt, you skipped my comment. Have to go again. Uh, Both of your channel as always. Where's Eric's comment? I haven't skipped your comment, mate. Oh, there you are. Sorry. Greetings from Ireland. Sorry, Eric. Sorry, my mate. I don't know how we did that. School of Plastering. Man, what you doing? This fella just keeps buying memberships for me. You are a flipping lovely, lovely fella. Thank you very much, mate. Much appreciated. So now there's you guys have just been all gifted memberships. Thank you very much. You're the top man. I don't take I don't take gifts very well. I'm not used to it, so it just makes me feel awkward. But I do appreciate it. So thank you. Thank you very much, mate. Gary P. The Animals sang the famous version of it. That's it. The Animals. Mike Wells, right, Kurt lad. When I think of the rising sun, I think of the pub on the Tithe Barn Street. Is it Tithe Barn? Yeah, I don't know how to say that. Tithe Barn Street, I'm going with. Martin, first time I caught you on a live stream. Anyway, plastering only a DIY, but always struggled with the middle of the room. Any advice there? The middle of the room? What do you mean by the middle, mate? Middle of the room? Do you mean like in the center of the ceiling? You'll have to tell me what you mean by the middle of the room, mate, because you only. I don't want to take the piss. You only want to be doing the walls and the ceilings, mate, not the middle. uh, Roberto Kennedy. Sorry, AVE's quality. He is. I don't know if it's Av or AVE. I don't know how you say his name, but he's got a good channel anyway. Uh, Craig. Av is about an hour and a half away from you, mate. You know you've got to go and do a little secret mission now, right? Because no one's ever seen that man's face, and now you know where he lives. This is your special, right? You are like a mole implanted from the UK now, Craig. You've got to go on a special secret mission to get a picture of this fella's face for me. Oh. Alfie Lander, hey up, mate. How's it going? Roberto Kennedy. There's an Irish fella called Dean Doherty who takes tools apart now, similar to old Av. Yeah, that's interesting. I'll have to have a look at him. Martin, ceilings, yes. Well, okay, so what I do is work my way around the room, pulling in as far as I can. Usually on a long trestle, I'll be able to take 2 steps and reach past the center of the light. I'll lean upside down, to reach as far as I can on the ceiling. There's not many ceilings that I can't stretch and get to the very middle. Even if you have to take 2 steps back to get all the way. But if I still can't reach it, I'll go right round the edge and then I'll go into the center and sort of just pull the center out, from the middle. It's usually around the light, I'll pull it out from the center there. But there's loads of ways of doing it. So, for instance, I'm talking about, like, if that's your ceiling there, I'm talking, I will come here, bring it this way. Oh, it's with a different pen. It's a bit bright, isn't it? Imagine these are trial strokes. I will bring it in here, yeah, into the center, and then come in, go right down, and then come along this way and pull it through there, right? If I can't reach all the way because the ceiling's too big, then I'll go right around the edges like this. Yeah, all the way around like that, right? And then I'll go from the center and come out like that, usually. Or you can sort of do it like a typewriter method where you'd bring it down here like this. These are like strokes of the trowel, by the way, yeah. And then you want to flip your trestle, go the other way then, and bring it from here up like this, and then move forward and just cover over the line. Does that make sense? So you'd be going that way, and then step forward, and you just want to be covering over the line that you leave when you start off. Hope that makes sense to you, mate. John Chambers, thank you, Liverpool School Plastering. Yeah, he's a very kind fella. It seems to be every time he comes on the live, he just flipping throws a load of cash and gets loads of people memberships. He's a flipping lovely guy. Martin, I'm a short ass too. Yeah, do you know what's interesting, mate? My old fella's only quite little, and my old fella was taught by a fella called Titchy. That was his nickname, Titchy Ward. In fact, I don't even know Titchy's real name. I only know him as Titchy. He's long passed away since. In fact, I've got a video of me working with his son, Gary Ward. There's a video on the video sections. But anyway, Gary's dad, Titchy Ward, taught my old fella, and that fella was about flipping 4.5 foot. He was a tiny little guy, but a fantastic plasterer, very fast at ceilings. But they used to have it all planked out. David, how's me trial coming along? Is it nearly ready? Mine's on way out. Won't be long, mate. Literally won't be long. I'm actually on a rendering job now, so that's all I do is just batter these trials on rendering jobs until I don't want to send it until it's absolutely perfect, though, mate. So bear with me. It's coming. It's on its way soon. Craig Meadow, AVE stands for analog versus electrical. Well, there you go. How do you even know that? Because I've watched this channel for ages. I never knew that. That's interesting how you know that. I'm glad that there's light being shone on this mysterious fella now. GP 1207. Have you worked on any celebs' homes? Yeah, a couple. The most recent one was, oh, what's his name now? He does drifting. Wasn't his home though, it was his workshop. He built a car garage. He does drifting, like, flipping supercars. I don't understand it. For me, it's just like, why are you wrecking tires? But they seem to like it. Shane Lynch. I mean, I don't know if you think he's famous or not. Is it Boyzone or something he was in? What he does now is he gets fancy cars and he does them up and he raffles them off from this unit. I can't tell you where it is, but it's not far from me. But it's sort of a big factory unit, and inside there they've got like an office area. Well, an office area. It's like a studio area where they do the filming, and that's what we plastered for him. So nice enough bloke, but ultimately, I don't really get too excited about famous people. They're just people, aren't they? Everyone's just a person, you know. Um, that said, if I ever met Dolly Parton, it'd be a bit different. Uh, Martin nodding, yeah, man. Ricardo Kennedy, have you ever watched Trailer Park Boys or the Hardy Books? No, I haven't, mate. No. Are these YouTube channels? Uh, Martin, I never thought I could start in the middle. Mate, you can. It's just all it is. I wouldn't start there. I just normally reach it as far as I possibly can. And if there's a bit in the middle to fill in, you know, that said, I mean, it might even end up, you can literally do it anyway. All you've got to do is when you pull your, if I've gone, right, sorry for everyone else watching this. Me and Martin have a little chatty. If I've gone all the way around the ceiling, pulling in as far as I can like this, yeah, and I've reached all the way in, and then there's a bit in the middle. You don't have to start in the middle. If you can stretch that in one stroke, I might just start there and just pull it like that, and then one swoop to get rid of them lines, and it's gone. That's it. All it is, wherever you start with your trowel, wherever you put your trowel, it puts a little ridge in the ceiling or in the plaster. So you always want to sort of, you know, wherever that ridge is, try and just sweep over it to finish off. Ideally, it's better to start at the edges. That's all. But if you haven't got a choice, then it's tough, isn't it? Miller's channel, second drawing is how I do it. Yeah, there you go. That's which one? If my missus comes in here, she'll think I've lost the plot. I'm just little. He's writing in code in his office. Yeah, flipping her. So someone will find that, won't they, in years to come, and think I've been talking to aliens or something. D Gallagher painting. All right, Kirk. Been watching your videos for a while now. Trying to pick up tips to help with patching large repairs before painting. There's loads of videos on patching on my channel, mate. In fact, the last one was if you a bigger patch for you to have a look at, which might come in handy, is the video that I did. Sort of, it might have been 2 videos ago. You'll see it in the thumbnail. There's me with a speed skim on the ceiling, holding it in my hands. That might be a good video for you to watch, mate, for blending in and patching up. Uh, G, hi Kirk. What's your favourite curry? My go-to curry, mate, is a chicken tikka boona with pila rice, shwari naan bread, and a chapati side, and some Bombay aloo. I like maybe fried rice sometimes, though. I do like a shawari naan bread and a cheese naan bread. You can never decide, can you, between them all? And an onion bhaji starter is quite nice. But if you wanted to upgrade your curry, right, rather than just having like a chicken tikka boona, instead get a chicken shashlik, which is like tandoori chicken cooked on the grill with all the onions and the peppers, and then have a boona sauce on top of it. So that is like a turbocharged chicken boona, then because it's the chicken shashlik instead. Yeah, I mean, we could talk all night about Indian food. I flipping love the stuff. To be fair, the Indian takeaway where I use Mamoon, he's my mate, right? And now, if I don't go there often enough, he phones me to see if I'm okay. Who's this? Johnny P. I've just seen a comment. Tikka masala, madras hot. Okay, yeah, fair dues. I don't know. I don't really like the sweet curry. I can eat, don't get me wrong, I can have a vindaloo, I can have a bangalore. I don't mind. I can eat hot food, but I don't enjoy it. I mean, you do, when you're young and you got all the lads and you've had a few beers and then you still, who can eat the hottest curry sort of thing. It's doable. I mean, I can stomach it, but I just think I don't enjoy it, sitting there sort of sweating trying to eat your food. Whereas I sometimes as hot as I'll usually go would be a Madras these days, you know? That's I might just fancy a little bit of a kick. I tell you what I do sometimes do though. That said, every now and then I'll just get a vindaloo sauce. So I'll order me chicken shashlik with Mbuna sauce, and then I'll have a little side of vindaloo sauce, and I'll just dip in it because the vindaloo is actually very, very tasty, but it just blows your flipping brains out. I was gonna, oh, stuff it. Forget the monetization. I was gonna say it blows your bollocks off. But that's it now. Now I've said that. Now I've said a little swear word. That's it. Flipping monetization gone. Right, where am I up to here now with the comments? Uh, Big long shot. Well, Martin, well, learn something every day. There you go, mate. Yeah. Big long shot. Well, that's it. What I usually find with a couple of steps, if you trestle, you want to set yourself, Martin. You want to be sort of that sort of height from the ceiling, you know. So you want to set your stuff up so you're about that far away from the ceiling, and then you can take a couple of steps back. You know, make sure you've got enough room on your trestle to be able to take two good steps back and really stretch. I struggle really getting massive sort of stretches because I only have a thin trowel, so I can only load it up so much. But even then, there's not many ceilings that I can't reach to the center, you know. But then again, I've got a funny shaped body, so I'm I'm quite gifted for plastering. I'd say the shape of my legs, right? My legs are literally about that long, right? I'm all body and arms, like me flipping me arms reached just like about just past my knees. You know, I'm a funny shaped fella, to be honest with you. we always I always have people taking the piss, you know, in the pub and stuff, saying you flipping built like a gorilla, you know, just got little tiny legs and big long arms. But that's just how it is. It's served me quite well. It's come in handy for plastering and for boxing, but for everything else, I'm just the wrong shape. I mean, like absolutely useless at running, jogging. The high jump was just absolutely pathetic. You know, just forget it. Can't even do the high jump. The hurdles, that was just a flipping absolute barrel of laughs. We flipping, I think the inside legs about 20 inches. My legs are the same size as my kids' legs. Ah, da, da, da. Robardo Kennedy, plaster to the celebs. You'll have Philip Schofield calling you up soon. Oh, flipping heck, yeah. Is he I don't even is he a paedophile or not him? I don't even know what I don't wa I'll be honest with you fellas, I don't really watch any news or TV, like literally at all. And I don't really even listen to the radio ever. So I don't know what goes on in the world because I don't buy newspapers either. So, it's literally not because I have got TVs in my house. I've got loads of them. I've got two in here. It's just I've never got time to watch them. And when I do, I don't want to watch the crap that they just pump out. I want to watch a film or something that I actually want. You know, I won't just sit in front of the telly, just like mind numbed. Like my missus, like flipping heck, she can tell you who's going out with who on Coronation Street and flipping EastEnders, and she knows them all. Like you know where she. I haven't got the slightest bit of interest. And I'll be honest with the news as well. So you probably get all that sort of stuff about Schofield in the news. Like I've heard stuff, people have told me stuff, and I remember who he is. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that if the TV's on in the customer's house, you know, I'll be able to see it, won't I? But I just think the minute the news, it's just propaganda, isn't it? You know, most of the stuff that comes out the box is just bullshit. So I've got no inclination to ever want to sit down and watch it either. Gary P. Hard Books is a comedy that went from YouTube show, but they did get onto Irish TV years after their YouTube show. Oh yeah, I tell you who else has done that. Daniel Louisi Ashfield. He's been on Discovery. I know that because I watch his channel and he's put on it. He's been on Discovery as well. So I've never seen him on Discovery, but I know he's on there. Bomber plastering, hi there, Kirk. Just wondering how I could get one of your worn-in trowels, as my old 14-inch trowel got caught in architrave when I slipped of a hop up and it's bent on one corner of the heel. Right, mate, I've got a couple of trials that just need to get finished and sent out, and then I've got another batch of 14 befores to get worn in. So I'll just be doing them maybe like 3 or 4 at a time. And then as soon as they're ready, mate, I'll let everyone know. But it won't be for a little while yet, mate. Ultimately, I've got a couple more just to finish off and get gone. So uh, and it takes a little while to wear them in as well, you know. Uh, Miller's channel, the plastering code. uh Ricardo Kennedy. Uh where's that gone now? Francis Higgins from Hardy Books has a YouTube channel too. The Paul Paleo live stream as well. Let's be fair play. Chicken tikka patheo or Dan Sack for me. Yeah, fair play. Good choices. I must admit, I've gone through the menu a couple of times with different restaurants. If I find somewhere I like, then I'll just work my way through because different Indian will have different Indian takeaways will have different chefs recommendations, sort of chef special. I'll tell you something interesting, right, as well. I didn't know this. So I have been using I use the same Indian takeaway now, I've done for years. But before I started using this one where I currently go, I used to go and see another fella that had a takeaway opposite the pub where he used to drink. He's moved since. So let me tell you about this guy. I used to drink in a pub called The Knot, and over the road from The Knot, there was an Indian takeaway opened up. So I started using it all the time. And the fellow that ran it was a guy called Kabir, right? Absolutely lovely, lovely guy. Got on great with him. Um, he had a daughter called Sadia. Now, I'll get to the reason why I'm telling you this in a minute. So they moved from The Knot, over there from The Knot, they moved up to Little Sutton and opened a restaurant. So because he was my mate, got on quite well with him, I used to go there and use his restaurant quite a bit. And he'd have his missus serving, his daughter Sadia would be the waitress, his son would be waiting on as well, and Kabir would be in the back cooking, right? Like a little family business. And the food was lovely. Now, I took another fella that I know um, called Tesh Patel. He's Indian. I said to him, "Me and Richie, we're going to take you for an Indian at Christmas time. We'll take you out for the curry." Right, so he's made up. So we get in the taxi, me, Richie, and Tesh, and we're taking him to Kabir's new place. And we pulled up outside. So I've got an Indian in the taxi with me, and we've turned up at an Indian restaurant. And the first thing Tesh said is, "This isn't an Indian." I'm like, "No, it is. It says Indian cuisine, like it's Kabir." Nah, I didn't realize that Indians like okay, so the Indian restaurant we went to, Kabir, they're Bangladeshi and Tesh is Indian. I didn't even know there was a thing, but they don't like each other. Right. They flipping hate each other, apparently. I didn't know nothing about it. So I was saying to Tesh, look, mate, he's sound, trust me, he's my mate, I'll vouch for him, come in. So we go in the restaurant. We sat there, and the thing with Kabir is if he knows I'm in the restaurant, once because he'll only do 2 covers a night, once he's served everyone, he'll come out and come and sit at the table with me. Like in his all his chef's gear. Loads of times we've been there till 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, me and my missus and him, and they just keep us there, the drinks are flowing, and it's just a flipping lovely time. And that's what he'll do. He'll come out the kitchen and sit with us. So I said to Sadia, who's serving, said, "Oh, do us a favour, tell your dad that Kirk said hello. Can he have his special?" And so he knew I was in. So when he come out, he's come over to the table and he spotted Tesh, and that's it. It was like a little Mexican standoff in the restaurant. They were like sizing each other up and everything. But anyway, after about 2 minutes of them, I just sort of put my head out the way for I'm not getting involved in this. So we just left them to talk for a minute, and then the eye whatever they said to each other, they got on like a house on fire after about 3 or 4 minutes, and we're having a little chat. It was sound. Now, the reason so there's something that I didn't know. I learned something that night. Bangladeshis and Indians, there's I don't know, there's a little things aren't kosher between them. Maybe some, maybe not. I don't know. I don't understand it. I don't want to know. Not interested. It just amazed me, you know, too. I thought Indians, they just all get on, don't they? But no, apparently not. Now, um, Sadia, the waitress, so she's a smart girl. She's waiting on, right? When COVID come about, she's been doing university and all sorts of stuff, and you can read about her in the paper. You can literally Google this girl, Sadia Ellesmere Port Indian takeaway, right? Just put that into Google and you'll find it. She's studying how to cure Alzheimer's because her her grandparents had Alzheimer's, and she's, you know, trying to find a cure for it. When COVID came about, she created a disinfectant that you can spray on food and it's safe to eat, and it kills all pathogens for it's active for like 2 weeks. It's like a super flipping stuff that is absolutely harmless to humans. She created this herself. And then NASA, of all companies, um, bought bought it off her, but I don't know what they basically she become a millionaire like overnight. So I don't, you have to read the story yourself. But that's what happened to them. So they kept the restaurant for a little while, but basically it was like pointless because I mean they all sort of pooled the money together, so they just didn't need to work anymore. They just became multimillionaires, and she now does stuff with NASA. But and that was the end of him. So that restaurant just got closed. We keep in touch a little bit, but he basically said, "Look, Kurt, there's no point us even working. It's like pointless. We're going." So that was it. They just shut up shop and away they went. But yeah, what was interesting as well is Sadia, absolutely beautiful lady, gorgeous girl. She genuinely is a stunner, and she'd be working the restaurant. Bear in mind, she's like a flipping absolute brain boffin sitting on millions of pounds, right? And it was just bizarre to me to look around the restaurant and you'd see pissed up young lads. Oi, oi, where's me poppadoms? You know, and she was so humped. She'd go, "Oh, just give me. I'm really sorry. Just give me a minute." And she'd go and get them and bring them back. He's like, "Yeah, I want another beer as well." Yeah, okay, sir. And she'd go off and get the beer. Mate, this girl was an absolute worldie. She could have been a supermodel. She was that pretty, and she had the flipping brains of Einstein. She's literally sitting on millions of pounds, having fingers snapped by some little urchin who's probably on job seekers allowance. And she was like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah," couldn't meet nicer people, to be fair. So it's a shame we lost them, but they've moved on to, I don't know, retirement or whatever they're doing now. I don't know. Anyway, there you go. Little side story for you. JG. Last 3 nights I've made a chicken stir fry with a boil in the bag rice, soy sauce. Oh, banging. Normal have a roast every day. 25 mins in the air fryer. Fair play to you, mate. Uh, G, never mind plastering. You should do curry reviews. Oh, mate, don't get me started. I'd love to. I like food. Gary P, I personally like a nice kick like from jalapenos in a wrap. Just a small kick, but some heat now and again is good for you. I agree, definitely. Chris Swan should have just said nuts. True. The Wondering Mason, hi Kurt, where can I send you an email? On my channel description, mate. So when you click on my YouTube channel, there's a channel description. You can click on there, and my email address is in there, mate. So yeah, if you wouldn't mind sending me over your name, and I'll, like I say to you, mate, I'm not going to go in there and start. Oh yeah, such and such sent me, sold me. I'll get 50%. Didn't. No, it's not my style at all, mate. I'll tip them. It's just nice to have a good recommendation, but also to be able to go in there and say, hey, by the way, we've been recommended this place by such and such, like JG roller skates for your knuckles. Cheers, mate. Martin. Chris Swan, the amount of arguments I've had with the 6'2" and 5 foot plasterer on setting scaffolding heights. Yeah. Need to get a pogo stick, mate, don't you? JG. He groomed that boy for sure. Oh, we're on about Schofield. Yeah, I'm with you. Uh, Miller's Channel Silverback. Yeah. It's all my mate calls me. Do you know what? It's funny. My mate Lee Murray, he said to me on these t-shirts, he said, "What you should do is instead of having a man like that, instead of having a bloke, you should just have a gorilla with a beard." Cheeky sod. We won't even start talking about the size of Lee's nose. Questionable character from what I know. Yeah, Martin, I know. Yeah, Johnny P. Television telling lies through vision. 100%. School of Plastering. Use pink grip for sticking beads like your last video. Was surprised how strong and quick it sets. I'm converted. Was using steel washers, nails. Pink grip is way easier. Yes, I'm glad you like that one, mate. I'm glad you like that. Yeah. It's, I've never really bothered using it internally, although I suppose you could. But I just think the problem with the plastic beads is when you're using metal beads and you kink a nail the wrong way, it'll bend the metal, but the bead will stay straight. Whereas the plastic, you kink a nail, you knock a nail, and it just pops the bead out, doesn't it? And then you got a bead that's flapping in and out. So I always pink grip them. Just you can't do it if it's wet. That's the only thing. It doesn't work when the wall's wet. JG, yeah, TV rubbish. I'm with you, mate. Carl McGowan Kirk, did you ever see the video about a new girl who started at a building site and she was sent to the shop for a thing like chicken lips? For things like chicken lips. That's what we used to call Kieran. Remember Kieran that used to work for me? That was it. That's the nickname I used to call him. Come on, chicken lips, let's go. And chicken. Well, Leighton actually, you I can say it on here. I don't give my apprentices loads of stick, right? We have just gentle banter. That's it. You got to slowly. Don't forget, these lads have come out of school, or maybe they've had a little part-time job or something, and the world's a bit of a rough place. So you got to gently just ease them into that. Just toughen them up a little bit. So I have a little laugh of them, take the piss a little bit, but I'm not harsh to them. But one of the things that we said to Leighton, he's he's about 6 foot tall and about 6 stone. So we took him on the job, and this old boy Brian, he's 74. Looked at him down, and went, "He's all ribs and dick, him." Where are we up to here now? Liam Adamson, Kirk, I've just been to the England match and I'm very drunk, and it's a work patient. Yes. Well, hope you enjoyed it, mate. I don't what was the match, mate? Was it a football match? Sorry, I don't even watch footy either. I hope they won anyway. Whoever you went to see, I hope they won. Bama Plastering, no worries, Kirk. We'll keep an eye out for your warning trials. Keep up the good work, Mucker. Cheers, Bama. Thank you, mate. Well, the funky. Hi, Kirk. Just removed solid skirting, and now there's an inch difference between the front of the wall and the exposed brick. Is bonding best way to build up the gap back, up ready for new skirts? No, mate. No, 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 no. No, don't. That little section in between there, mate, could be separating a damp floor or your damp proof course. So I wouldn't fill it with I wouldn't I wouldn't fill it with any sort of gypsum plaster. There's a few ways you can get around it, right? There's that little. I know what you mean. The bottom of the wall. I don't know how old the building is, but chances are, if you've removed solid skirt, it's gonna be quite old. So I wouldn't fill it with anything, because you might cause damp. So one thing that I have seen fellas do is expanding foam. Yeah, let it set and cut it off flush. That's one way of doing it. And another way, what I was quite impressed with, was a joiner went along and he drilled holes where the skirting was going to go, put plugs in, and then tightened screws in, and then sat his skirting board on top of the screws. He marked the floor, pencil mark, and then drilled another hole, about that far next to it, and put another screw in there and tightened. Do you know what I mean? So you've got one screw with a skirting board sat on it, and then the other screw through the back of the skirting board. And then if the skirting board was kicking in or out, he'd just move it and adjust the screw, and it was just, that I wish I had I don't know. I wish I was better at these examples. You get what I'm trying to say, don't you? Screw in the wall, skirting board sat on it, and then another screw to hold it in, and he could adjust the first screw in and out to change the angle of the skirting board to get it just perfect. That was another way. YouTube, an Indian guy I worked with, said his skinhead told him to fuck off back to Pakistan, and the thing he was offended at most was that he's not from Pakistan, he's from India. Yeah. Being told to go back wasn't what annoyed. It was the thought someone thought he was from Pakistan. Certainly have beef. That yeah, they apparently they do, mate, yeah. Apparently they do. I'll be honest with you. I I'm not trying to be disrespectful for sort of laughing and joking about the beef. It's just I don't know. I haven't got time to learn who's got trouble with who. The way I see it is, I don't care if my country's got a thing with another country, or if for instance, right? I bet loads of Russian people have had sticks since the thing with Ukraine and stuff, right? All I do is I just take every single person on face value. I don't care who your politicians are and what they've said and what my grandparents did to your grandparents or vice versa. It's just I'm here now with my missus and kids, and you're here with your missus and kids, right? So let's just wipe the slate clean, and I'll just treat you how you treat me, and that's it. If you want to smile and shake hands, happy days. If I'm not going to hold a grudge against someone over something that their flipping great grandparents did to my country when I wasn't even alive, or over some little muppet in number 10 Downing Street, what he said about another country. I'm not interested. At the end of the day, we're all just blokes trying our best to provide a nice life for our families. It doesn't matter what country you're from, what race, religion, anything. That's pretty much what 99% of people are just decent people trying to make a nice life for themselves. There's a few idiots along the way and there's a few extremists, but they are the minority. Unfortunately, if you watch the shite that comes out the TV, you'll believe that everybody's out to try and get you. Bomber plastering fair play to that girl. Chicken, go and get some chicken lips from the shop. Yeah, imagine asking for them as well. YouTube. I made a bolognese the other day, 9 hours pissing around. Yes. I haven't got time to cook. My mate says this to me. Why don't you cook? I haven't got time. I haven't got the interest. I've got a fella on speed dial, right, who can cook food 10 times better than me and bring it to my house. So I just haven't got. I just pay someone else to bring the food. I mean, my missus has a go. She'll do some stuff, but it's ultimately I don't want to eat when they want to eat, and oh shit, sometimes I'll end up with beans on toast every now and then, or she'll do a. I don't know. She's a bit like does the same stuff, my missus, over and over again, and it gets a little bit like. I have the same stuff from the Indian, but it's really tasty, whereas the sort of stuff it gets a bit boring. So pasta. Oh, we're having pasta again, are we? Flipping heck. Stephen Harris, is it best to fit new architrave before plastering or remove old before plastering and fit new afterwards? Thanks. Depends how bad the walls are. I mean, if the arc's going to come off and it's going to be replaced, then you want to definitely have it off before you plaster. You don't want to plaster it up to it and then take it off. If the arc's definitely coming off, you either want to plaster it when it's off because it'll make it easier for you, and the joiner has got a few options. He can cut your plaster work, he can put a little timber plant on the frame, or he can cut the back of his architrave down, or you can fit the new stuff if you're quite competent of going round it without getting plaster all over it. But ultimately, it's the joiner's got to make that call what he wants to do. All I'd say is if he takes them off, don't get plaster all over his door casing, keep his door casing nice and clean. And if you struggle controlling the trowel and it might spill over the door casing, then just go round first and put masking tape over oh, you can see, can't you? There, put masking tape over that, the front edge of that, and then once you've polished, just pull the tape off, and your casing will be absolutely spotless. And then the joiner will be there excited when he comes back. Daddy Pete. The banter and crack on building sites can be rough, but so funny and sarcastic. Yes, definitely. It's hard because I love banter, but I've sort of I'm talking to an audience that I can't see, you know, so don't offend anybody by sort of crossing the line. It's a different sort of banter on site than what you'd sort of have, like, maybe in a restaurant. I don't. What am I trying to say here? If you haven't worked on building sites, then the banter would probably be quite offensive to you. So I'm assuming that not everybody on this live has been on a building site, so I don't want to say something and people think, oh, that's a bit far. That so just it's a family show, and it's a family show. Um, 201 odd gizzle. Been a painter and decorator for 26 years, and I find myself watching Kirk past few months. I wish more plasterers would use SPR as PVA is a pain in the ass to paint over after plastering. I'm glad you've confirmed that on the internet because I've been saying this for ages. It doesn't flash and it's nice to paint over. But no, it does. It does. I'm like, it doesn't. I've spoken to loads of painters and they say it's fine. When you're doing a patching job and you paint SPR further past the patch and then you patch within the bounds of the SPR, that little bit of SPR that's sort of not been plastered over doesn't cause anybody any issues. Whereas if you use PVA, it does, especially if you've PVA'd bare plaster and then you patched, then it's a right nightmare. This poor fella's got to get his flipping Zinzanite or his stain block on it or whatever he needs to do to flipping get rid of it. Carl McGowan, Kirk, did you play pranks on the newbies? Oh, yeah. When I was younger, when I was on the building sites when I was younger, we used to do all sorts of stupid stuff. Um, yeah, I mean, the one that it was a few things happened. Like a few things happened on the sites. This wasn't a prank, by the way. This was just a mad thing that happened. But I thought it was quite funny, but it also knocked me sick at the same time. So we always used to use the collated screw guns, and we had this new lad start with us. Let me just get a drink with there one second. We had this new lad start with us, Stephen. Lovely lad, but not very smart. Mm. And if ever any of you have worked up to metal stud partitioning, you'll know that the studs are like a C section, like a C shape. Okay, and they move. So when you're trying to put your collated screws through your sound block board into your stud, if you go straight in the middle, the stud will just kick out the way, right? Because they're only usually crimped. Maybe they put pan heads in them. I don't know, but they were only ever crimped, which suited me because I could kick them and move them. If I cut a board slightly wrong, I could just kick the stud over and move it over, slide it in the track. Anyway, so what I'd say is start at the top or the bottom and work your way down, like zip down the board and it'll stay still. But if you're going to start in the middle, you've got to hold the stud still, right, whilst you screw into it. This kid, for some reason, decided to put his hand inside the C-section. So he's got a hold of the plasterboard and his fingers are inside the C-section. And then he put the collated screw gun, which I had the fast Makita, which was like 6,000 RPM. It put screws in like nails, basically. It's like boom, 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 like that. He decided to put a screw right through the board, through the stud, and right through his finger and out the other side of his fingernail, right? And then started making like funny noises, like this, like flipping trying to pull it. And all that's happening is he's doing this, the wall's rattling. So we've ran in there. And we didn't really have cordless screw. This is when I was still working with my dad. We didn't have a cordless screw gun. I saved up and bought the collated screw gun. So we didn't have anything that could back off fast. We used to just have long screwdrivers. So you could tighten the screws up on the ceilings. If there's a screw sticking out, you could just stand on the floor with a big long screwdriver and tighten it up. So my little brother, our Craig, he runs over to the toolbox, gets the big screwdriver, runs over to Stephen, and proceeds to tighten the screw up. He's trying to loosen it, but this is the thing. He's tightening it. It's like it's like doing a corkscrew on his finger now, pulling the flipping in. Oh my god! I just ran off. I couldn't handle it. I was like, this is fucking nuts. So that wasn't so much of a prank, but that was something that perhaps it's not funny really, but it just was at the time. The funny bit was our Craig tightening it up, not by accident. He was trying to loosen it, but in the moments, in the heat of the moments, he was like, "Grrr," like this, and it's like, and my dad's going, "No, no." He said, "You're pulling it out. It's flipping pulling the inside of his finger out." Right, pranks. So what I left my old fella, um, and went on my own sort of when I was just turned 18. I was sort of on my own because we, we were on day work on the building sites up until this point. And then the fellow we were working for, Dave Waring, he realised that literally most of his workforce were just taking the piss. No one was doing hardly anything. I was getting stuck in because I was thinking this is like I'm practicing because I knew in my mind I want to go on price. I want to start battering this. I want to make some real money. Um, so this fella Dave, he thought, right, you're all going price. The whole firm's going on price work now, and that was basically it. My old fella said, "Look, Kirk, bear in mind I've been plastering since I was 11, full time since I was 15. I've now just turned 18." He's like, "Son, I'm done. I'm not working on price. I'm not going to make any money on here. I don't want to be pulling my plums out on price. So I'm going back to doing private work." Um, Basically, it was me dad basically saying, "You're done now, son. You do what you want to do. You go for it." So that was it. He gave me the green light because I sort of felt I knew I was carrying me dad for a while after. Even at 17 and 18, I knew I was doing making up his work, if that makes sense, which I felt I wanted to do. This is the thing when someone teaches you to plaster, they invest a lot of time into you, and they ultimately pay you out of their wages at the very beginning. When you first teach somebody, they actually cost you money. They're not helping make you any money. They're ripping the lead off drills, they're knocking water over, they're flipping, getting things wrong. They can't mix, they can't do anything. They just keep breaking stuff. It's an investment. You're actually paying out for these people. So once once I had learned to plaster and I was quite good, I sort of felt a little bit indebted to my old fella. I've got to now make him some money back. It's just the way it works. So my old fella must have decided when we were going on the whole filming on price, he's done enough. I've had a nice easy ride on site for a while, whilst our Kirk's just been battering as much plastering as he can. So my dad went back to doing house domestic stuff, and I said on the building sites. So that's when then I took the apprentice, my dad's apprentice. I kept him with me, and then we ended up getting another lad, and then another. There was yeah, we rotated a few. Anyway, why am I telling you all this? Pranks. So one of the things we used to do was the plasterers challenge. Get 2 bags of plaster above your head and see how many you can do. And you take a bag off them and it's right, go for it now as fast as you can. Let's get like 50 reps out. And as they're pumping up and down like that, you just nip along with a standing knife and just slit the bag and it just collapses, and they get covered in plaster. Stupid, but they're the sort of things you do when you're young, aren't they? So that was one of the things we used to do. But my brother-in-law, Sam Bonehead, you'll see him on the videos, Sierra Delta. He got this lad and he's got him doing it, but he hasn't got a standing knife. So in his wisdom, he thought, I'll just use the end of an angle bead to slice the bottom of the bag. So he's got an offcut of angle bead about so long. So John is there just pumping away, right? And Sam decides to slit the bag from the front, but absolutely just missed. So he's gone to like that to slit the bag, but instead just got the angle bead, just gone and just stabbed John in the face with the end of the angle bead. So that was supposed to be a prank. It was supposed to be him cutting the bottom of the bag with a bead, but instead he just flipping poked him like in the cheek. Could have took his flipping eye out. But yeah, that's about it for the pranks, mate. I know my dad and my brother played a few on me. Screwed me flipping boots to the floor once because we weren't allowed to wear our boots in my dad's van. I had to put ovies on because I'd be covered in plaster. This is the thing. My dad was more keen about us not dropping plaster than actually getting it on the wall. It was more important to my dad not to drop plaster than what it was than to get it on. So I'd be covered in it I've just done 3 mixes. I was had in my hair, it was in my ears. I was just literally like a little plaster monster. I was just covered in the stuff. So I had to have one of those paper boiler suits, and that's what to get in my dad's van to get home. I had to put the paper boiler suit on, take my boots off, put my slippers on, and then I was allowed to sit in the front of the van. If not, I had to sit in the back of the van. Could be an hour away from home, and it was closed off as well. So just be in the dark, in the cold, in the winter, just sat in the back. So, yeah, because we had to take our boots off. That's what I was saying. Because we had to take our boots off. I just leave. You weren't didn't want them in the van. They had to stay on the job. So you leave your sort of boots in the house, and then they screwed them to the floor. Anyway, there we go. Did you ever watch the 5 versus 5 boxing Queensbury versus Matchroom Saturday night brilliant night of boxing? Bomber, I didn't, mate. To be honest with you, um, I didn't know. The only boxing I ever really liked to watch was amateur boxing. Professional boxing it's like a different sport ultimately. So I like watching. I like to go to the shows. I used to box at the Golden Star in Ellesmere Port, and the head coach Carl, absolutely lovely fella. In fact, I've got to go and see him this Friday. It's his birthday, so we're doing a little surprise for him. But he'd let me know, "Oh, there's a show on here, there's a show there," and I'll just go and watch, have a few pints and watch the, amateur boxing. That amateur boxing's exhilarating, mate. Mother Funky, nice one, mate. Yeah, I get what you mean. House was built in the '60s and they were knackered, unfortunately. Okay, I'm with you. Ash Ali, like the way you think, Kirk. Treat people as you'd like to be treated. Yes, 100%, mate. 100%. Mm. Gary Pete, for me, I'm not fussy as long as it's food, even more after a long day's work. Yeah, I'll tell you one home cooked meal that I do love is a stew or a scouse, whatever you want to call it. But some crusty bread with, and I don't mean like smeared butter. I want crusty bread with a piece of butter on top of it. A few pieces as well. And if you got in your stew, you have a little bit of chili in there as well, and some cold cut beetroot on the top. Bomber plastering, bang on Kirk. Treat people how you want to be treated. Race, colour, or creed doesn't matter. We're all human beings. Mate, some of the best nights I've had are with foreigners. Tell you now, right? I have a better laugh when I go on holiday and just meet, just having a laugh about trying to understand each other's funny enough. I think laughter is a universal language as well. So as soon as you start smiling and laughing, it doesn't matter if you can't understand each other. Stephen Wright, hey Kurt, what's the verdict on the new refiner flatbrush pal? Mint, mint. That's it. Now I'm converted. I've actually, I've got another one here. I haven't opened this one yet. He sent me 3 different types. I didn't know. I thought they were all the same. One second. It's only here. Oh, I thought it'd be still in its bag. I've took the bag off it, so I don't know which one this is. But they've sent me 3. There was like a hybrid. It's the bristles. One's synthetic, another one's some. I don't know what. Anyway, I was hoping that'll still be in the bag so I could read what it said, but I must have got excited and opened everything. So and then binned all the packaging, so I don't even know what's what now. But anyway, the one I'm currently using, whichever one it is mint. Holds loads of water. Doesn't lose any bristles. Stephen Harris, thanks. Anthony Herbert, hi Kurt, was in work today and we had a new guy started with us. He went to the Portaloo and the lads put a ratchet strap around the toilet door. Sod us in there for hours. He might not turn up tomorrow. Oh, I tell you, yeah, fair play. I tell you one thing. There was a Portaloo right next to a pack of boards once where we were loading boards in. So I went in the Portaloo with my chocolate mousse, little fromage free thing, little chocolate mousse yogurt thing. Right, so I'm in the Portaloo, and the door's just a little slip. I'm just looking out the door, and I can see Sierra Delta just out there, Sam. And right, so he's had a few names, Sam, by the way. My brother-in-law, absolutely stern lad, heart of gold, never ever let me down. There was one time I had a load of trouble with some travellers, and I went for a little. know it sounds crazy. Went for a straightener with him at about 11 o'clock at night. Had to go and meet these travellers on a car park for a scrap. And I phoned up Sam Bonehead and said to him, I've got to go fight the travellers, mate. You coming? So he was straight. He's That's the type of guy he is. Never ever let me down. Absolutely lovely fella. Now, I used to call him for years Bonehead. That's all I've ever called him is just Bonehead. That's bear in mind, me and him, it's my wife's little brother. Me and him are closer. He's closer than with me than what he is with the rest of his brothers and sisters. And my brother with me and Bonehead are like that, you know. But I've called him Bonehead for that long. But now he's got kids, like, and my kids are calling him Uncle Bonehead. And I thought, I can't. That's like degrading, isn't it? You know, we can't call him. So I've had to change his name from Bonehead to Sierra Delta because his name's Sam Dunn. So now he's Sierra Delta. But anyway, years ago, years and years ago, we're loading boards into a house, and the little portal loop, I've gone in there and I can see where he is. I'm just looking out the door. I've got my little chocolate mousse. So what I've done is I've got the tissue paper and I've just scooped a little bit of chocolate mousse out onto the tissue paper like that. Yeah, put that out the way, and I'm waiting and waiting, and just take my pants down a little tiny bit like that, and pop the door open as he's got a board like that. Just pop the door open and go splattered it on his cheek, right? Ah, and he's just dropped the board, picked it off, and then he's yeah. And then he tried to kill me. You'll see him in the videos though. He's if you've ever watched one of my videos and you can hear the heavy breathing like that, that's him. That's him filming like Darth Vader. Gaddy P, I love the humour, like Roy Chubby Brown, Jimmy Jones, real old school calling. Fair dues. The Wondering Mason, have you ever done a Tadlac bathroom? I haven't, mate. No, I haven't. School plastering, the metal studs, try putting two together to make a box. You will see they're a lot stronger when doubled up. Yeah, that's a good shout, that actually. Yeah, good shout. I don't do any site work anymore though, so I'll probably never see them ever again. Hopefully, although I have got a garage full of I've I don't bother the studs, but I've got loads and loads of top hat trim and hangers. Because the stuff that we used to use for the MF ceilings, I used to try and when I was on the site, used to take all the leftovers, you know, packs and packs of the stuff and just store it. Comes in so handy for little jobs. Whenever I've always got loads of top hat on my van. If anyone doesn't know what that is, by the way, top hat, it's just like it's like strips of metal that is designed for screwing plasterboards to. So it's like keeping loads of roof back on your van, basically. But you can keep like 20 lengths, and it takes up that much room because it all slots inside each other, uh, bu- 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 Mahmood Hassan, how's it going? Morning, Kirk. Morning, mate. Gary P, my mum does a beef casserole with some garlic in it and a little red wine, cooked for about 2 hours with potatoes, and it's awesome in the winter. Yeah, I tell you as well, if you can get a nice cottage pie, and in the mince, you have your peas, your carrots, your onions, and a tin of chopped tomatoes, and then on the top, when you crisp the mash, spike the mash and crisp it, and put some cheese on top of it as well. Can't beat that, mate. Bomber plastering. Yeah, I concur that amateur and pro boxing are completely different sports. Definitely, mate. Definitely. And I only ever did amateur, so it's sort of because I used to do it. I used to like watching it. Uh, Michael Dix, evening pal. Hope all's well. Spot on, Mike. Thank you, mate. Carl McGowan, Bomber plastering. Who won the fight? Zango Wilder. Stephen Wright. Thanks, buddy. I'll treat myself to one of them. Been struggling with Achilles tendons on my heel for 2 weeks. What's possible? Your ceilings, I think I deserve a new brush. Yes, definitely. School plastering, hard to get good brushes like the old ones. Uncle Bonehead. I just can't. Do you know what? It's funny when it's like in the pub and on site, and that's what I've always called him. But then as my kids started learning to speak, I just started telling them, ask Uncle Bonehead. But then now he's got kids and his kids are growing up and they're starting to understand. I mean, it's just a bit degrading, isn't it? For your own kids to think that you're called bonehead. So I mean, he's not a bonehead by any way, shape, or form. He was my apprentice. So, you know, you give them names and they stick, don't they? That's one thing I can't help it. Whenever I meet people, I end up giving them new names. Mother Funky never worked on site, but I work on a factory shop floor with 150 other blokes. The banter is what makes the job bearable. Some of the nicknames people came up with are brilliant. Yes, yeah. There was a fellow that used to work on the site, and he had a bad limp, you know, so he'd be walking like this down the site like that. And all the lads used to call him Sniper's Nightmare. Uh, Bomber plastering. Shit. Yeah, you like the chocolate mousse, do you, mate? uh, I tell you, it's not really a prank, like as such, and I wasn't there for this, but since all this half time and extra time and all that's been out, my mate Lee is still on the building site. Him and Steve, they still do site work day in, day out. Now, the crew of plasterers still the same crew that I remember from years and years ago. And there's one fellow on there, I won't name him, but he's a bit of a bullshitter, and he's a bit of a nightmare, causes problems. He's one of those, he'll find a problem with any part of the job and he's always kicking off and causing issues. Anyway, he's got a reputation for being a bit of a pain in the ass for the firm. In his own gang, he's got his own gang of lads, but but all for the same company. No one really is that keen on him. Although I'll talk to him that. But anyway, I said to Lee, mate, I'll give you a load and load of extra time. So this was only about 6 months ago. I give my mate about 15 sachets of extra time, and he went and dropped it in this fella's water. You have a big 45-gallon drum outside your house full of water. That's what you use for mixing. He put about 15 sachets of extra time in it, stirred it all up for him, and we just didn't say nothing. So, Gary P, I helped a guy doing a job, and he had to rip a kitchen, and he put it all in the. I helped a guy doing a job, and he had to rip out a kitchen, and he put it all in a trail and asked, "What are you doing with it all?" And he said, "Okay, I'm sure he's a trailer. Put it all in a trailer," and asked, "What are you doing with it all?" He said, "Going to use it in my workshop," as he was a chippy. Uh, the nickname that I have from my dad is Buster, from the lead singer of the band Bad Manners. Fair play. Bomber plastering. Zang KO Wilder. Hopefully, okay, that's talking about the boxing. Evening all. Or good morning, Stephen Watson. Chris Swan. The lecturer gave a guy nickname Horse because he had a massive set of teeth and jaws. Yeah, horse jaw. School plastering worked in Germany in '97. It was 15, two Germans had said, "We beat you in the football." I replied without thinking, "We beat you in the war." 20 minutes later, he tried kicking the portal whoever would be in it. How on you? We beat you in the football, we beat you in the war. Flipping heck. Hey, school of plastering, you're straight for the jugular there, weren't you, son? There was no messing around there. We beat you in the war. Ali P. Or had another guy called me Fatso, and all I said one morning, Carl McGowan Kirk, have you got any pub stories you can say on YouTube? Probably not safe, mate. What's this? Did you see any of the Trump stuff? Uh, Trying to think if there's any flipping stories I can tell you from the pub. That many things happen. Mm, that many things flipping happen. Oh, did you see any of the Trump stuff? I tell you what, I did see on Donald Trump. I upload videos to TikTok now. I've been doing it for a while, so I'm sort of on TikTok. And one of my sort of things that I always try and follow is I say I'm a content creator, not a content consumer, because I used to put loads of stuff on Facebook, and then sort of we ended up on YouTube. I don't really bother that much with Facebook anymore. But I always used to say to myself when I was putting stuff out there on Facebook, because I used to do on Facebook to bring work in. I don't have this YouTube channel for work. I don't put anything on YouTube to try and bring in more work. It's literally I just started the channel because I started making videos for my lad. Anyway, I used to put loads on Facebook to bring work in, and something I had to drum into my own head all the time is content creator, not content consumer, because it's so easy to start scrolling through posts, and before you know it, you've lost 4 hours of your life just because you're looking at stuff on Facebook. Anyway, going on to TikTok, and I post videos on TikTok, and I have to keep repeating this thing to myself because TikTok, it's flipping relentless. It's like doesn't take long. You watch one video, and before you know it, you've watched about 50 videos, and you're stuck on the flipping thing. But I did see on there that Donald Trump has opened a TikTok account, and I think it's the fastest growing TikTok account that's ever been. I think he's got like flipping 5 million followers in one day or something. So, Gary P, YouTube Shorts are the same. Before you know it, you've watched short videos for about an hour and got nothing done. I know, I know. At least with sort of like you watch long form content on YouTube, like long videos, like half an hour videos or 20-minute videos. You sort of watch them, and by the end of the video, you sort of had enough of the video anyway. It's like, the end now. And then it's the end of the video and you close it and you do whatever you're doing, you know. Whereas them shorts and TikToks and Facebook Reels, it's just like little dopamine hits, you just watch one after the next, after the next, just consumes too much time. So it's good for them. The platforms like it, don't they? Because it keeps you on there and they can advertise more to you. That's all these platforms are. YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, all they want is for you to stay on here as long as possible to watch adverts so they make money. That's all it's about. Sad, really. It'd be good if we could just completely have no adverts whatsoever, but it's how they make money, isn't it? So, Mahmood Hassan, doom scrolling. Yes, I like it. That's exactly what it is. Doom scrolling. Chris Swan, more than an hour long. Mother Funky. Some of my favourite nicknames are Flat Bob, bloke whose van fell on him when he was underneath. Flat Bob, his van fell on him when he was underneath it. The dentist always got his pliers in the machine. Hemorrhoid, pain in the arse manager called Emma. Hemorrhoid. I like that. I like that. Hemorrhoid. I'm gonna use next person I meet that's called Emma's getting hemorrhoid. I've been calling her Leighton Lathong. Go on, we go on. Bomber plastering. Wow, I thought Wild was going to win. Thanks. There we go. Don't mean to just skip past your comments when people are talking to each other. I just let them chat. So I read it, but I'm like, oh yeah, they're not talking to me, so I just let them carry on. So I'm not being rude by not reading your comment, by the way. Cardi P. But I think it's also today's because most people have a short attention span. So if they can shove fast videos into you, it's a win-win for both parties. Do you know what? I know I've said this before though. I love reading, right? I'll tell you exactly what this does. I love reading. I was quite happily. I haven't read for a little while. Well, I do read, but I haven't read properly. I'll read maybe a page a day or something at the minute. I find that if I've sat and watched TikTok videos or YouTube shorts, when I sit down to try and read a book, I have to reread the same page about 3 times because it doesn't go in. So if I don't, if I'm not on all these shorts and reels and all this crap, my concentration span is quite strong. But I find that watching these things, it does genuinely lower your concentration span. So I know what you're saying. Today's people have short attention spans, but it's because of these things. It's not they haven't got it, and then they haven't got a short attention span, so then they create these videos. It's like these videos are like little dopamine hits, but these slowly start to erode your attention span. While I'm plastering, I don't watch normal TV on the evening. I just watch boxing and stuff on YouTube, or your content and a few others. Yeah, that's it. It's pretty much where I'm at. Finish work, do about a million things that I have to do for work, quotes, invoices, sort receipts out, look after our good old friends at HMRC, make sure they're getting their little slice. Don't want to miss them out, do you? Make sure they're looked after. And then by the time I've done all that, edit a video, it's usually time for bed. One thing I do, take the little fella to the park. He's got I've got him. Do you remember Dennis the Menace? And he used to pull that wagon behind him, that red wagon with the wheels on it. I always wanted one of those as a kid, a radio flyer. Always wanted one, right? Well, now I've got my little lad. I thought, right, I'm flipping getting one for him. He's having it instead. I'm living out my childhood that I didn't have for me. So I've got him one. So now, literally, he loves it as well, though. So the minute I get him from work, he's straight out in the garden. He jumps in it. He's only flipping that big. He gets in it and he's sat there and he's like, rocket, da, da, da. He's ready to go. And that basically means I have to take him straight to the park, which is only 150 meters from my house. Stephen, right, it's time for me to hit the hey. Have a good day tomorrow, everyone. Cheers to the live once again, Kurt, mate. Spot on. Chris Swan, good night, Stephen. Take it easy, mate. Chris Swan, how's the apprentice getting on? Has he plastered anything yet? Yes, on this rendering job, he's been doing a bit of base coating. So what I usually do with the apprentices, I teach them backwards. That's just a way that I've found. After teaching a few people, I found that teaching them backwards works faster. Now, when I say backwards, what I mean is I will put my gauge on, or my set, or my hit, whatever you want to call it, and I'll get it up to the point of polish, and I'll say, right, okay, jump on this wall with me, and I'll get them to polish the wall with me, right? And once they get, once I'm watching the trowel action, they look quite fluent, then I'll get them second troweling and polishing, Second wet trowel and polish, or give them a little flick of water, they can have a little flick of the brush and start, and then we just take it back again, and they'll be giving it the first wet trowel, the second wet trowel, and the polish alongside me. And then before they know it, they're at the point where they're flattening in and the plaster's still quite wet on the wall. And then they've got the trowel sort of action down. They feel quite comfortable with the trowel. So when you put the handboard in the other hand, they've only got to master that, and the rest of it they're already quite proficient at. So I find that it works better that way. But young Leighton, we haven't been doing much skimming. We've just been doing rucks and rucks of rendering jobs. So I just let him loose when there's no, there's the groundworks need doing. Doesn't matter how much he drops. I just let him have a good old wild session on some base coating, and that's what he's been up to. Jason Brown, your video's a boss, mate. Where's that gone? I'm a plasterer myself. I've picked up a few tips and tricks from you. Spot on, Jason. Thank you, and thanks for the nice comment. Bye, gents. Need more water. I think we'll call it a night there because it's midnight. And tomorrow I've got a couple of fellas jumping in with us. Well, I've got to go one place, and these lads need to go another place. So I've got to 1, 2. Sierra Delta's coming, Richie's coming, Leighton's coming. They'll all be here for about 8 o'clock, and they're all going off to one job, and I'm going off to Liverpool to pick up some Monocouche, some top coat, which I've got a video sort of ready to be edited that I want to put out, because I've always used K-Rend. Now, I've used K-Rend, I've used Weber, I've used Parex, which is basically Seeker, changed to Seeker, now they've repackaged it back as Parex again. I've used PRB. What else have we used? Anyway, all these different types of mono, all pretty much are the same. And K-Rend's always sort of been the nicest one. There's a few things with different renders I didn't like. For instance, the Parex seems to set from the surface rather than the back. So It's hard trying to flatten it in because it'll drag and slide. Anyway, I've since discovered the most beautiful product ever. Literally the best Monocouche render ever. I've never used anything as nice as it. It's like whipped cream to use. It's so it's just love. It's like using hardwall. It's literally fluffy. It's nice to use, and it scrapes back really quick. So whereas K-Rend, you can be leaving it for 8 to flipping 12 hours. This stuff's good to go after about 5 hours, 4 to 5 hours, and you're ready to scrape. So it's quite nice to use, and it scrapes back lovely as well. I'm gonna make a video on that. I've got all the footage. I just need more time to edit videos. That's the thing when you're sort of working 6 days a week, and you've got your family, and you've got your coaching sort of stuff. Well, coaching, you got me sales and marketing group, and then editing videos. It's just time, isn't it? Just trying to squeeze editing in is just it's a push for me to sort of like pop one video out a week. Mm. I tell you my predicaments as well. I tell you my predicaments. Loads of people say to me all the time, "Why don't you get someone to edit your videos?" That's a good shout. It would be a good idea to have some because I could literally just get tons and tons and tons of footage and just I was considering it and just giving the footage to someone and just saying, right, edit that, edit that. But here's the thing: the video is actually made in the edit. Like that is literally what the video that's how it's put together. You can literally have one thing and completely change the whole direction of the video in the edit. Okay. So for instance, you could be singing the praises of a person and edit that video and make it seem as if you don't like the person. You can literally take it any direction you want or within the editing stage. Now, the thing is, if I got someone great at editing, my videos are different to most people. Most someone like Mr. Beast, for instance, right? It's all entertainment. A lot of YouTube videos are entertainment, whereas my videos are more like I'm trying to show people how to plaster. So unless the video editor understands how to plaster, then the videos won't make sense. They might be entertaining, they might be dead, really polished edits, but they just wouldn't. I know when you film something and it goes to the edit stage, about 70% of it gets chopped out. All my videos start about 2 or 3 hours long, and then I get them down to about 20 minutes. So you chop loads and loads of it out. But the thing is, if you chop out an important bit, then the video doesn't make sense. But the editor doesn't know that. So I've literally toyed with the idea, but I've got to do it myself because otherwise, it'll just be wrong. So, mm. Ba, 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 I'm a plastering. Another plasterer called Jason Brown, but I've got an E on the end of Brown. Oh, there we go. Bombers are Jason Brown as well. Liverpool School Plastering. That's what life's all about, mate. Enjoy good times with your kids. We always want for them what we didn't get. Good night, mate. Yeah, take it easy, man. Good luck on the rip out tomorrow. Hope you don't get flipping too dirty. Nothing worse than black soot in your undies when you get home. Craig Meadows, night fella. Take it easy, Craig. Good night, mate. Nice talking to you the other day, Craig, as well. Don't forget, Craig, get me a picture of AVE, analog versus electrical. Interested in that product. What product we're on about here now? What I said here, or what someone else said. Carl McGowan. In 2001, the spray insulators turned up drunk and made a right mess. Have you ever seen any tradesmen turn up drunk? Yeah, yeah, me. Yeah, flipping it, mate. Plastering. I don't. Plasterers are nearly all flipping alcoholics. I've flipping the amount of times I've turned up. half cut in the morning on a building site, and the amount of times I've seen lads turn up flipping. I've Sierra Delta's tried to come to work with me before now. I've not even been to sleep. He's just been up all night, drinking, and then thought, "Oh, I've got to go to work. I can't let Kirk down." And then tried to turn up on a Saturday morning with no sleep. So yeah, no mate, no. Just go to sleep. Forget it. Just come back tomorrow. Jason Brown, do you water down the SBR? I've never used it. I always PVA, and what sort of ratio do you do? No, Jace, just use it neat. You probably could. I've never watered it down. You probably could. I don't know. I've never. All I know is what I do, and I only started doing it years ago by chance, and it's worked. I've just stuck with it. I've done tests. I haven't watered it down the tests, but I've just done tests with it, and I've only ever used it neat, mate. I've never had a problem with it, so I just think if it works, don't change it. And it's better than PVA 100%. Uh, Gary Pete, well, also a lot of people like to add like funny clips from TV shows, etc., to show a comedic side of it, etc. Yeah, yeah, I'm with you. I want to do a bit of that myself in my videos. It's just I'm trying to get better at editing. I've had to learn as much as I possibly can in basically a year and a half. So I'm trying. Balmer plastering use PVA to blend in. Yeah, it does. It's easier to blend in on PVA, to be fair. SBR completely seals it, so when you're trying to blend in, it's like it can be like trying to blend into vinyl silk. Yeah, I can do it. It's fine, and that's all I ever use. But PVA is easier to blend into. Tom, have you ever done any screeding, Kirk? Yes, mate. Tom, do you mean I've done floor screeds and I've screeded walls, so I don't know which type you mean. I'm assuming you probably mean floor screeding, in which case I have, but I'd never want to do it ever again. Them days for me, mate, have been on my hands and knees, flipping, pushing muck around on the floor are long gone. I'd do it now, but I'd want at least £800 a day to do it. uh, Chris Swan, if you have a room to do, put it on the night before. Yeah, you're on about the SBR. GG, good evening. How screwed am I if I've got a solid 9-inch wall with hard wall, please? And on the trout, clips from viewers at the end was a nice touch. Ah, cheers, mate. Yeah, we should do that again. We should do that more. Um, it's just finding time to ask people because I've got to get the link and then put the link out there and then ask people to do it. And then whether people can be bothered and remember to do it the next day. So um, I would like to do that more, to be fair. Bomber plastering screens a tough game too. Yeah, definitely. School of plastering. I thought you were going to bed. He's like one eye just watching the last little bit. What's the alternative? Yeah. And there's a video coming on it very soon. I'll tell you now, I like it that much that the job that we are currently doing now, I've I priced it up months and months ago, and now we're getting round to do it. I've been back to them and told them, listen, take this color chart, pick something off here because this is the product we're using now. We're not using K-Ren no more. We're using this stuff. So that's how much I like it. I've literally said to the customers, if you want K-Ren, I don't want to do it. I only want to use this. I mean, I didn't say it quite as blunt as that, but that's the general gist of it. This is the product I'm using from now on. Absolutely lovely stuff. Tom floor screwed, yeah. Yeah, I've done my fair share of floor screening, mate. We used to do a lot of work for the builder up on the Wirral, and for some reason, I don't know why, he loved it. There was every single extension we did for him, we had to screed the floor as well, and just a flipping. I think if you're doing it every day, you get into it, But when you're only doing it like once every 2 or 3 months, it's just hard graft. And then me, idiot, I always turn up in shorts, so I've always got cement burns in me flipping knees, and flipping forget it. You put the little knee pads on, you have all good intentions when you start, and by the end of the day, it's in your flipping socks. It's just horrible. I don't enjoy it at all. Daddy Pete, like the ball builder, has a video like collection that's in 4 or 5 parts that go through everything to do with how to plaster on plasterboard, and is very in depth and very educational. Ah, that's interesting. The ball builder has a video collection. Ah, I don't even know who that is. I'll have to bear with me. Where's my little phone? Sorry, I'm just writing this down. And the ball builder. Use user to think this is flipping nuts. I spun this laptop round. This wall here is literally just covered. I love these, man. I've got post-it notes everywhere. Everything's got a post-it note on it with me. Mark Kitchen. Good night, mate. Take it easy. Carl McGowan. Kurt, did anyone give you any advice on what's a good mic? No, I've still got this thing here now that I'm talking to you through now, which is a toner one, which is basically just a cheap one. But no, I need to really. I know a fella that's quite involved in the music industry. He flipping works with a famous person. I can't think who it is now, though. I should pay more attention to famous people, shouldn't I? But anyway, he's quite big in the music industry, and they've got a studio not far. And we were in talks about going up and doing a wall for them because um, I've got another mate who does murals, and he wants me to go and render a. Oh, long story. One guy does murals, one guy's got a wall, but the wall's brick, so he needs it smoothing out so this guy can put a mural on it. Anyway, when I'm there, I wanted to ask him about microphones, and chances are, they've got much gear. Probably just go, yeah, buy that off us. Give us a couple of £100. That'll be perfect for you because if it's good enough to sing in, no doubt, it'll be a good quality one, rather than my little flipping Amazon £30 special. So, I don't know. Marketing, Nike. Robardo Kennedy. How much more expensive is K-Rend than the alternatives? Right, okay. So K-Rend, uh, I was getting it for £16 a bag. I think all in, £16 a bag. And then this stuff now, all in, I think it's about £12 all in. 12 or £13. It's about there. I always price them at £20 a bag. So that's where, you always want to be making sure that you're well in with your materials. Bomber plastering, adios, Kirk and chaps. Hitting the sack. Good night, mate. Take it easy, Bomber. Jason Brown. See you later, mate. Ivan Prico. When's the next bathroom vid? I love the first one. Okay, so tomorrow or the day after, like this week, the next couple of days, Ivan, because I've just plastered it. So it's going to be like a 3-part one. You got all the first fix, and then you've got the plastering, and well, the floating of the walls, and then there'll be the fitting. But ultimately, I've just floated the walls because I wanted to make a video on how to float, which I've just done yesterday and started editing today. So as soon as that's done, I've got to get these guys to approve it because there's an integration for Carly, which is like a thing that plugs into your car and diagnoses it. When you got a light comes on your dashboard, you plug that in, go on your app on your phone, and it'll give you the diagnostics. So I'm doing a little integration for them, but they have to approve the integration. As soon as that's all done, I can post a video. So couple of days, mate. Tom, good night, mate. Take it easy, Tom. Chris Swan. I've used N-Wall Monocouche. That was quite nice. You done much silicon render? Yeah, I've done a little bit, but I only ever hand apply. I'll be honest with you. I do the silicon stuff when we are going over external wall insulation. But as a product, I don't really like it. I like Monocouche because it looks nice. It's a lot heavier work, but I think it looks nicer. I tell you what it is, I just don't like going over the beads, you know? And that's the thing with a thin coat, it's the texture goes over the bead, and it just irritates me. I wanna clean the beads off. Ivan, how's the new apprentice coming along? Is he keen? He's all right, yeah. I can't fault him. He's all right. He's a good lad. He tries hard enough, you know. Uh, Stephen Watson, I burnt the skin off my fingers back in 2009, messing around screeding for a friend. Never again. Oh, flipping. Yeah, that's cement burn, mate. That's a real thing. That like it's not fun. Gary P. There's one called the Snowball Mike. That's very good quality one. That's interesting. I have seen them. I've seen the snowballs. I didn't see the thing is, guys, I don't want to get something thinking it's good and it's not. It's just shit that's sold expensive. You know, it's expensive shit. If that makes sense. I want to buy. I don't mind spending the money. It's sort of like right. I know plastering, so I know, you know, a Marshalltown trowel is a good trowel. I don't want to go out there and buy a Ragney trowel for 100 quid, you know? That's what I'm worried about. Because if you go on the internet now, on Amazon or eBay, there'll be Ragney trowels on there for 100 quid. And you might buy them thinking, oh, I've just paid 100 quid for a trowel, it's gonna be great. It's not, it's just a piece of shit, but it's expensive. So I don't want to make that mistake with a microphone. It'd be really good if someone that's, you know, in the sound industry said, "Buy that." I mean, you might be doing that, so I'm not sort of discrediting you if that's your field and you recommend the snowball and you use microphones, then I'll go with your recommendation, mate. But as long as you're not guessing, just tell me you're not guessing. That's all I want to know. Uh, Craig Meadow, still here, Kirk. We should talk about mics too. Long story, but we'll talk. Yes, that's what we need. That's what we need. Give me recommendations for a good microphone. Ivan Placo, you ever thought about taking lads and starring your own firm? Have you ever thought about taking loads of lads on and starting your own firm, or are you happy as you are? Yes, I did, mate. I did. I tried to do it in 2008. I was getting ready to take on a load of building sites, so I was getting lads built up then, sort of lined up in the pipeline because I had a little deal going on with a contracts manager, one of my dad's mates. I was going to start taking on Persimmon homes. I was going to start taking on sites, and then the recession came. So me little dream of being like a plastering boss in a firm, I tried to carry over into the domestic side, and I did do it for a little while. Absolute headache, complete chaos. Trying to organize fellas is like trying to herd squirrels. So I decided that I'm sick because you think you're going to be a plastering boss. You have all these ideas that you're going to just drive around, organizing jobs, collecting money, sending lads here, dropping materials off. No, no. The truth of the matter is, you end up um, trying to keep your lads on the straight and narrow, Alcoholics Anonymous, missing persons detective, marriage guidance counselor, because you got women ringing you up saying, "Why didn't you pay Tommy last week?" I said, "I did, love. He just spent all the money in the pub. I'm sorry." you know, it's absolute chaos. Trying to keep the team on the straight and narrow is one of the most difficult things. Lads, can I have some money, Kirk? Friday, mate. I know, yeah, but I've got nothing now. I can't get to work otherwise. So you become a loan shark and then trying to keep tabs on things, and then you lend someone money and then they don't come back to work. And it's like, oh, flipping nuts. Just forget it. Forget it. It's just easier just to work, just you and an apprentice. And now I've sort of got, I don't know, it just fluctuates. Two or three lads, but the sound, I know exactly what they're up to. I know what they're doing. They're not trying to milk me. They just want to work and get paid. That's it. So it's sound. Robardo Kennedy. Sure, mics are the top range. They have a version below the one Joe Rogan uses. That's about 150, but you really don't need anything more than that. Right. 1 second. Sure. Okay. Now, if that's it, if Joe Rogan does his podcasts with a Shure mic, then that's good enough for me. I'll get one of those. Sure. I'll be looking as soon as that lie's finished, I'll be looking for one of those. Um, Flats coat, Snowball for sure is definitely good. Okay, and I don't need to write Snowball down. I know Snowball. I've seen them. You can see them on Amazon all the time. So I'm gonna have a look at them. Um, Chris Swan, HyperX is good for the gamers. Okay, HyperX. I'm gonna write this down as well. I'm just gonna write. I'm gonna make a little list because I'm gonna do a little comparison of them. I'll start reading the data sheets and that. HyperX Snow or HyperX and Snowball. I'm housebound now. Is the price of timber as bad as I've heard? Carl McGowan. Carl, I don't know, mate. I don't know. I don't know what it was ultimately. Paul C. Massive shout out from the plasterers, Middlesbrough, Northeast. Do you know Richie McQuaid? Don't, sorry, mate. No. But anyway, shout out to all the plasterers in Middlesbrough. Dan Sharp, have you ever tried Venetian plastering? I'm a plastering myself and really want to give it a go and wondered if you have any tips for it. Thanks. It's to be fair, mate, just go for it. You can buy the stuff online. Companies will sell you the stuff with the trowel and everything. Basically, just everything you've learned about plastering, just go back to the beginning again. Just tiny little twitchy little movements like this, depending on the effect you're trying to get. But it's all in the waxing, mate, and the polishing, the buffing, and all burnishing or whatever they do. I did a wall in my house years and years ago, like marble effect, and I was made up with it. Because I've just done it. It's like, wow, look how smooth it is. It's like marble, and then you think to yourself, well, we sort of live in an ex-council house. We got flipping marble wall. It's just my missus said it's a bit tacky, isn't it? So yeah, should we just paint it? Should we just? I had to skim over it and just paint it. Uh, Ivan, have you ever had a go on the render spray machines? I never thought about getting one. Right, no, I've never tried machine plastering, mate. Now, Joel Cook has threatened a few times that he's going to get me on like an open day to go and have a go of one. And I reckon if I'm going to buy one, it'll be Joel Cook that sells me one. Joel Cook's got a YouTube channel, and me and him have had good old chats behind the scenes. Absolutely lovely fella. Flipping mountain of a man as well. But he's a lovely bloke. He now works for a company called Predator, selling their machines for them, or he has something to do with them. Anyway, if I was going to get one, I'd probably take his advice because he's not a salesman. That's what he does as his day job. He's used machines his whole life, or his whole plastering life. That's all he does, machine plastering. So I potentially look at getting one through him if I was going to bite the bullet. But I don't really want one. I've got nowhere to put it. Also, I don't. I'm quite happy just doing it by hand. But it's like anything. I don't want to be the resistance. Like everyone's moving forward and I'm still trying to hold back. But ultimately, I get by doing what I do, so I don't really want to commit and spend thousands on a machine and then I sort of feel like I've got to make it pay for itself. So I'm using it every day because I don't want to be rendering every day. I like the variety of doing different things. So Gary Pete, yeah, I know a producer who I've done reviews on some mics that are, let's say, cheap but very good quality. I can email you the links to the reviews if you want, Kirk. Yeah, if you want, Gary, if you wouldn't mind, mate. Channel description. Just click off the live, go to the channel. Well, you don't have to if you don't want it, but when you get round to it, you go to my channel description. Uh, there's an email address in there, mate, or you might have to click me link. I've got my little website link in there, but if you click in there, then there's a place where you can contact me with the email. So it's there. You'll find it, mate. You'll find it if you can just ping me some stuff over. Thank you very much, guys. Chris Swan, just get Joe to buy a new one and get his old one for free. Yeah, good plan. Craig Meadow, Gary P, are they advanced? I can't see there's advanced audio. Tell you what, whoever writes the last comment, I can't read it because my little what's the tag? You know when you do a reaction, look when you do a laughy face like that. See them coming into your flipping comments section, right? Them laughy faces cover the end of that last comment, so I can't see what you're writing. Oh, hi, gents. Have we had enough? It's time for bed. It's time for bed. Oh, should we call it a night? Good night, Chris. Gary P. Craig Meadow, to be honest, man, not too sure, but he's done many reviews on all types of mics, etc. We'll send Kurt the reviews. Yeah, top man, Gary, if you would, please. Thank you very much. Oh, gents. I'm going to go and crash. I'm going to have a quick shower and then crash out. Thanks for dropping in. Nice to hear from everyone. Now you know where I'm up to. Hopefully, I'll have this video boxed off soon, and yeah, all that good stuff. GG, night. See you on the next one. Stephen Clark just got here. Looks like I'm going. Yeah, take it easy, Steve. Roberto Kennedy. Have a good week, everyone. Gentlemen, it's been emotional. Look after yourselves. Have a good week. Take it easy, fellas. Right. God bless.